requesting if he could, if he knew how to join in.
If you can just mute while the
Yeah,
call
yeah.
goes on.
Yeah, mute kar do. Yeah, we are muted.
Okay, so what is the most important thing about a tea? Can we have it? So if you're using a tea bag, I mean, I usually, I mean, these are very normal day-to-day things. What do you see in this image? What are these things in the image that you see on the right? These are different types of tea bags, right? Linings, different. So, what is the most important thing about a tea bag? I want you guys to answer. So, for answering, you will have to unmute. Feel free to unmute and answer. Everyone's gone quiet now. Everyone's muted, I guess. You will have to unmute yourself.
So the quality of the tea and the brand, and the tea bag, like
Last दिन के
there
साथ
should be no stapler pins and all. That also is important.
Correct.
And the shelf life.
It's it's last दिन unmute. Last दिन mute, mute, mute.
Remember to after you answer.
It's it's very convenient. Who's talking?
Can the admin mute whoever? So one is on. Yeah. Okay. Good. Nice. We are good. Can you hear me now? Just give me a thumbs up, Rose.
Yeah, we can.
Okay. Okay. Good. So one is the packaging, as you said. The outer packaging is important. Also important is the bag, the type of the bag, the shape of the bag. These tea bags come in triangle shapes, pillow shapes, the bags with threads, the bag with threads and tags. You get round bags. These are the different types of tea bags which are there. Even the material, this is nylon material, this is paper material, different materials of tea bags come in. But I think all of us will agree that these things are important. They make a difference to the quality of the tea, definitely. But the most important part about the tea bag is the content of the tea. What is inside the tea bag? Which type of tea? Do you want black tea, herbal tea, green tea, whatever type of tea? The type of tea inside the tea bag is what is the most important. Uh, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So my lessons today, the leadership lessons, I have used the reference of a tea bag because usually our talk is at tea time, so I thought let me use a tea bag. As a lesson, it's a common everyday uh, thing that we see almost every day, everywhere, every place. It's a very common thing, and this will help us remember these leadership lessons whenever we see a tea bag. That is the objective. So when we use common everyday objects to link and connect with our lessons, that actually helps as a trigger, as a memory jog to remind us about the lessons that we learn. So today, being leadership, which is very, very important, I thought I'll take something commonplace. So what is important? The leadership lesson number one there are 9 lessons here. So the first lesson about a tea bag, what we learn is the content. What matters is not the tea bag, but most important is what is inside the tea bag. So what this reminds us as a leadership is true leadership is about the results, the impact that we create. It's not about our title or our position. What is important is beliefs and attitudes, and having a positive belief, having a belief not only in ourselves as a leader, but in our team. That is extremely important. And the attitude that we carry. If we have a positive attitude, we believe that our team can deliver and they have the capability and the performance. It brings out the best in the team. What happens is when we sort of don't uh, trust our team, and if we do not delegate and we don't empower our team, usually as a leader who does not empower, does not trust, who is always micromanaging, always very suspicious, their teams tend to underperform, and it's extremely important. What is also equally important about a leader is the respect, that as a leader, how much you respect your team and whether you recognize the team's efforts and the results. That's again very, very important. And as we all know, I think one very, very important rule of leadership is, praise in public and correct in a closed cabin. So uh, when we are appreciating the effort of somebody, we should always do it in public in front of others so that they feel recognized. And if we have to give feedback about the performance or habits or attitude or whatever, it has to be always done in privacy, not in front of others. Humiliating a person in front of others is not really something that is a hallmark of a good leader. And that sort of, when you berate somebody or give them negative feedback, it's very humiliating for the person, it's very embarrassing for the person, it sort of demotivates them, and you might end up losing a very good performer or a good person who has a potential. So yes, as a leader, it is important sometimes to give feedback, but when feedback has to be given, that's always to be done in private. Now, these lessons that these leadership lessons I have picked up from a book, and I'll give you the title of the book at the end. And this book is it's a small little book, few pages. It's a parable, it's in the form of a parable, it's a story about two guys, two friends who had been together in school. And these two people, I will tell you the story. We have a little bit of time, so I will tell you the story as we progress through these lessons. And there is these two friends, David and Michael. And David and Michael both are very, very close friends. They live in the same neighborhood. They go to the same school. And since childhood, from KG till I think 5th, 6th standard, they have always studied in the same school. David is very humble, he's very quiet, he's very attentive, and both of them are very good students. But David is a little humble, he doesn't speak up too much, he listens. And Michael is a little more brash, a little more aggressive, and he's a little, uh, maybe we can call him a little arrogant or a little overconfident as a child also. And they grow up, they pass the 10th standard and they pass the 12th standard. They go to college and they get good grades, both of them. And after 12th, both of them decide we want to do our management, we'll do our MBA. So they give their management entrance exams, and as it often happens in management entrance exams, I mean, you get separated by 1 or 2 points. Now, throughout school and early college, they were always together. The grades were nearly the same, just 1 or 2 marks here or there. And it so happened that these two uh, uh, got separated by maybe 2 or 3 marks in their entrance exam. And that happened to be coincidentally the cutoff. So Michael got a couple of marks extra. The person, the more overconfident and the arrogant boy, he gets a couple of marks extra. He gets admission into IIM Ahmedabad. And David, because his marks were 2 marks less, it was below the cutoff for IIM Ahmedabad. He didn't get in Ahmedabad. He got in a college, sort of a pretty good college, but it is considered second tier, maybe something like NMIMS or SP Jain in Bombay or Bajaj or whatever. So they are nearly the same, but David is in a B tier management school, and Michael gets into a A tier management school. They complete their management, they keep in touch, but over a period of time, over these 2 years of management, they get a little distant because studies, they have both been very involved in studies, and they get a little distant. But they still keep in touch once in a while because they are in the same neighborhood. And because Michael goes out of station for his IIM Ahmedabad, he doesn't come home. So, but whenever they visit, they meet up and all. Now, it so happens that after their management gets over, they have their campus interviews, and a very, very elite organization comes for an interview to IIM Ahmedabad, and the head of a particular branch and department, he comes over, IT company, one of the premier IT companies, he interviews these candidates and he selects Michael. Coincidentally, it so happens that this company also has organized campus interviews in NMIMS in David's college, and David also gets selected by that same department because he's department head. He's interviewed both of them, and he's sort of found both of them pretty good. So he's impressed by them, and he picks them up coincidentally because they were always very together. The knowledge and all, he's impressed, and he picks them up. Now, what happens is that they go through a 1 year internship, and coincidentally they are put in the same department in 2 different functions within the same branch in the same department. David and Michael are very happy to see each other when they get selected on the first day of the job. And but Michael, because he's from IIM Ahmedabad, he feels a little superior. He starts keeping a little distance from David now because he thinks he's from a A grade management school, while David is from a B grade, so he should not really mix about so much. So he starts keeping a little bit of distance. Now it so happens that they go through a 1 year training, internship and training, and after that they are both given different departments of projects to manage. So Michael gets into IT design and infrastructure, so he has to design the software and all. David is into more about the visualization and roles, which are similar, but they are different projects. Now, in the monthly and the quarterly reviews that happen, the company meets and the bosses, they meet up and all. And David's team, he has been allocated a team. Michael has been allocated a team because they are both management graduates. David's team starts performing very well, and he starts doing extremely well. His results are good. His team has got excellent results. They keep their deadlines, they keep the timelines. They sort of exceed performance. The team is extremely motivated, and they work cohesively as a team. They don't look at the clock when they are working. They finish a task extremely joyful, cheerful environment in their group. Whereas Michael, his nature and his inherent nature, and because of his uh, how would I say, his feeling of being superior because he came from a higher management school, he starts being a little critical of his team members. He starts criticizing them. He sort of starts micromanaging them because he feels that he's better. He genuinely feels he's better than these people. They don't know anything. So he starts
Who did this to
criticizing
Mama?
every team member
Who
about
did
their
this to Mama?
output, and he sort of pushes them and sort of berates
No,
them
don't do
that,
this.
hey,
Don't,
this
they
is
will not do
what you
anything.
could have done better. This
Who
is
did
not
this
good.
to Mama?
And
Huh?
gradually, over a period of time, his team starts underperforming, and they are afraid of coming out with any feedback. They only do what they have to do because they are of the feeling that, if we do something extra, anyway, anything we do, even if we do our best, we get berated. He is always very hypercritical. He shouts at us, so why should we do anything extra? So we'll do only what we are told to do. So they don't volunteer, they don't do anything extra, they're reluctant, hesitant to take on anything extra, they only do what they're doing. And they are afraid of going to him and asking for help because he always shouts at them and he is a little critical of them. Because of that, they are unable to get the right guidance from Michael, and Michael doesn't know what's happening. He only knows when the results are in, and you know, overall, his team starts underperforming and grossly underperforming, and they miss targets, they miss deadlines. The quality of the results is very poor, and Michael feels really, really upset. I think that every quarterly meeting, David gets recognized. Michael gets sort of, the head of the department tells Michael, yeah, you are, he starts saying, okay, you should do better and all. There comes a stage after a year when the management gets really upset, and Michael has his attitude has also been very negative, and the management feels that he's very negative. He's not very involved. He's not taking any initiative. Michael, because he's very burdened with his work and because he's underperforming, he doesn't take on anything extra. Whenever there's a opportunity or a request for anything extra to be taken up, a new project comes up, he refuses. He says, I can't take it, my team is useless. He's always complaining. Now, because of that, his team starts underperforming, and the management pulls him up. There comes a time at the end of a year, at the annual appraisal, where David gets recognized, he gets a promotion, while Michael sort of he's put on notice, and his management says that you have 6 months to improve, otherwise you will be thrown out of the organization. This is not the way. This is not acceptable. Whatever happens, you do what you have to do, but if you don't improve within 6 months, you will be out. So he gets really upset. Now, when David comes to know about this, he's genuinely a very kind person, and he cares for Michael because they have been good friends. He calls Michael over to his office and he says, "Let's meet." So they go into a cabin and they sit and talk. And David asks the office boy to get some tea. So the office boy gets, because it's an MNC and all, they have good, so they get a tea. He gets a teapot, and there are tea bags, different flavors. There's hot water, and 2 cups are there, nice cups, and a steaming pot of water, and there are tea bags. Now, David understands, he talks to Michael, tries to understand what has been happening. He gets an idea about what is happening. He gets a fair idea about what is going wrong. And because David is his friend, he wants to give him some lessons and help him, overcome. And this is the story. And these are the lessons. And he uses the tea bag as an example, as an analogy to give his lessons. So the first lesson he gave as we understood earlier, a few minutes earlier, that what matters is inside the bag. So don't be too concerned about the position of a person, or the what clothes you are wearing, or how he appears to be, the appearance, the dress. These things are important, but not as important. What is most important is, or the designation, the title of the person is not important. What is most important is the content, the capability of the person. And David explains to Michael that, you, just because you are from IIM doesn't make you any superior. At the end of the day, what matters is the results, how much you perform. And the performance comes from your content, not from your degrees or the college you have studied in, or your appearance or whatever. So this is what is lesson number one that David gives him. Michael understands. He suddenly realizes that yes, he has been guilty of these mistakes, and he gets a little interested, and he starts asking more questions, and he starts listening. Initially, he was a little negative, a little resistant, that I know everything sort of guy. At some point, he starts accepting and understanding. So then David tells him, lesson number two is, the real flavor, the real leadership, the qualities of a person are displayed under pressure in hot water. So tea bag, in cold water, if you put a tea bag, the flavor doesn't really come out. What the real flavor of a tea bag comes out in hot water. So he explains that when he's showing the tea bag, he showed him the packaging, and he showed the tea bag, and he says what is important is the content of the tea bag, not the packaging. Then he says that, okay, now if I put this tea bag in cold water, will it really infuse the tea? No. So it is the hot water. So under pressure, under stress, you should be able to perform, because your real nature comes out only in stress. So he says there are two things here. One is that when you are under stress, your real nature comes out. You have to be careful. You cannot be shouting or screaming, or uh, antagonistic towards anybody when you are under pressure. You have to behave very calmly. Your attitude has to be positive. And secondly, you should be willing to take on pressure, accept challenges, take on additional responsibilities. And you should be always willing to dive into, like a tea bag. A tea bag doesn't say, nay, 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 I will not go into hot water, I will get scalded, put me only in cold water. So whenever your boss offers you some challenging tasks or projects, assignments, accept them immediately, without a thought, without any this thing. With a positive attitude, start accepting any additional responsibilities or projects that are given to you. Now, when David says this, Michael immediately realizes that his boss, because Michael wasn't performing well in his current position. His boss had offered him another project on some gathering some market data about competition, which he refused. He says, I can't do it. He was like, it is not a part of my KRA, it is not a part of my responsibility. Why should I take on additional responsibility? I will do only what is told to me. And what are my KRAs? I will do only that much. Now the boss was actually trying to help him, that okay, he's not performing here. At least if he performs here, he will get an opportunity to get recognized or shine. So the boss was trying to be helpful, but Michael sort of refused and pushed away this additional responsibility. And he realizes this when he explains about the tea bag performs well under hot water. The third lesson is, the tea bag always has to be porous. However good the quality of the tea is inside, if the bag is non-porous, the tea will never, the result, the tea in the cup will never be good. The flavor will never be there, because the the bag is too thick or non-porous. Similarly, a leader needs to be open to feedback, always be open to learning new things, open to taking ideas from his team. Uh, some leaders have this habit of, like, I know more than my team. So Michael realized that he was doing that. That Michael used to always never take his team's feedback. He used to say, "Do what I'm saying. I know what I'm doing." So he used to sort of say, "Do only this much. Don't use your brains. Do what I'm telling you." Now, when you say that, the feedback, sometimes we are making an error, we have a blind spot, we may not be able to. And as a group, we all know that if a group is 10 brains always are better than one brain. So we have to take feedback, discuss, get ideas, and for that, we have to create an environment where people feel safe to give their feedback and give their suggestions and share their ideas and their thoughts. Now, if you are very critical, if you are very aggressive or arrogant, and if you sort of start cutting down people in public when they are giving their ideas, people at some point after a while you stop. Even I've seen managers and leaders who ask for feedback, they will say, yes, 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 give me feedback, I'm open to feedback. But when the feedback starts coming, they start becoming very critical and they sort of go defensive. So very important is to listen when a feedback is coming in. Listen without uh, getting defensive, without becoming judgmental, and just listen to it. Make a note if you want. Get ideas, suggestions, whatever. So whatever project you are working on, get ideas from all the people how it can be better. What can we do extra? How can we take care of this? What do you think can be the problems which will come? How can we address those challenges? So have a discussion, a healthy discussion where people feel safe to talk. And only when people feel safe to talk, they will be coming and opening up. So that is very, very important. Excessive control and criticism leads to a fearful environment. And in a fearful environment, people will not give you any feedback. So it is important for a feedback to be porous and similarly for a leader to be open to feedback. Yeah. And also, very important is for the leader to share his knowledge. It should not be only taking. It should be also giving because a, a leader has to genuinely care for his team, want to help them. If you see that they are making a mistake, we give them feedback, we give them suggestions, we guide them. Uh, Not in a very bossy way, but in a very suggestive sort of helpful way that, okay, what do you think about this? So, uh, a good leader makes his team think and without making them feel, without belittling them, they sort of give feedback as to, instead of telling, do like this, uh, because you see that there is a problem which will come up, you can ask him, okay, if you do this, do you think what can be the problems which might come up? Okay, how do you think you will address the problem? So, asking questions is a very good way of guiding your team rather than telling them what to do. Leadership lesson 4, as David and Michael progress in the discussion, uh, what David realizes that Michael is very obsessed with his IIM Ahmedabad, college and his qualifications, and he's very superior about that. So, and he feels that his team members are much junior; they are not as qualified, so they will not have the same ideas or they don't have the same level of brains. So he never accepts their ideas or suggestions, and he is always telling them what to do. So he tells them that tea bags work, never mind where, in which part of the cup, whether they are at the bottom of the cup, they are in the middle of the cup, they are at the top of the cup, they are on one side of the cup or the other side of the cup. When a tea bag is put in hot water or in water, it will diffuse. So position and titles don't matter. Your juniors might be junior, but some of them have more knowledge, more experience. They might have brilliant insights which we might not uh, have or we might have missed. So always be respectful to the feedback of people. respect their ideas, their suggestions and thoughts. You be a little kind and courteous when they are giving, even if sometimes they may give you which looks like very stupid ideas, but we need to, if we have that feeling of superiority, there are times when we will think they are such a stupid idea, but don't show that, don't see that, receive it, accept it, and acknowledge it, and really think with an open mind whether it is really whether it's really a stupid idea, or whether there is something that you have not been able to see what that other person has seen. So it's important to give equal respect and discuss. And this is about team building. So leadership is all about team building. So when you give the respect, people feel empowered, they feel confident, and they continue on this. So yeah, I think so. That's it. So you need to allow them to take on responsibility. When you empower them, when you encourage them, they sort of bloom and they become good people. So that's a true leader never shows that he's the best or he's the smartest, he's the intelligent. I mean, a genuinely good leader is a person who is able to subdue his ego and his feeling of insecurity. He doesn't feel insecure, he's very secure, and he sort of doesn't show that he's superior, and he always makes the team feel that they are brilliant and they are very intelligent. And so that is what happens, that they start feeling and performing on their own. They start blooming. Each team member starts really blooming. That's what is important about a leader. And this happens when you respect them. That you should know that the team, even within the team who are juniors, there will be leadership at some level. They also have some level of leadership, some level. So we need to cultivate the leadership in our juniors, our subordinates also. Leadership lesson 5 is that sometimes one tea bag is not enough. What David, when he was discussing with Michael, he realized that there were times when, Michael had this thing that, oh, my team is useless, I will do the work myself. So he used to end up taking on a lot of load. He would be sitting late in the night, he will be trying to do, he would be tired the next day morning, his brains are not working. But so he used to feel he's working so hard, and my team is so useless, they are not working. But if you realize, what was happening was that he was not able to delegate, he did not trust his team, he did not empower his team, he did not teach his team to become better. And what happened is, over a period of time, the team stopped developing, the team stopped volunteering or trying to help, and he ended up doing a lot of things himself. So what is important is, when there is a big project, sometimes you have to ask for help. Maybe your team is not sufficient. Even if you get your whole team to do something, there might be other people you might need. So there is no harm in asking for help from other departments. Like, for this project, I don't think I'm able to do it on my own. Will you be able to help me? Get a few extra people, some other departments to come and help you. So there are times when, if it's a teapot, it's a big teapot, one tea bag is not enough. You need to put 2-3 tea bags. So never feel insecure that, okay, if I take the help of other people, my importance is gone, my recognition will go, I will do everything myself. That is a mistake which a lot of people make, and that prevents them from really achieving genuine leadership qualities. Asking for help is not a sign of weakness. In fact, it's a sign of strength, where you feel you're very confident and you are assured, you know that you are good. And asking for help it's absolutely normal. Leadership lesson 6 is about adding. Sometimes you have to add milk and sugar. This is, again, he sees Michael doing tasks where he was not qualified to do. There were some things related to finance. He would not take help from the finance department. He would not take help from the marketing department about some marketing activities. He would try to do everything on his own. So when the project requires other expertise of other departments or other people who are better than you in that area, you should always collaborate, always ask for help. not try to do everything on your own, because at the end of the day, if you don't take into consideration the knowledge and the expertise of those people, the organization gets affected and the organization might collapse. So it is very important. No single leader has all the skills that are required to do something. Always you need to collaborate, and collaboration is something which even in our human race has succeeded and become so powerful is because of collaboration, because we tend to collaborate with each other. So similarly, we need to take the expertise of other departments wherever it is required and work along with them and to be able to give a good result. If the output is fantastic, you get recognized, you will thank those people for their help, but primarily it was your responsibility, so you will get recognized as a good leader. So remember that. Don't be afraid of asking for help or collaborating with other people. Always remember that someone else holds the thing. Michael had made the mistake that even those projects which he delivered and he concluded, which were not really good, they were trying to get somebody else to help. He would refuse. He would say, "This is my project. ये तो मैं ही करेगा. I will not let anyone else do." If people tried to help or give feedback, he would always resist. He would say, "Yeah, what do you know? This is my project. It is my." And that thing sort of affected the results, and the management at some point wanted to give him some other project, thinking, okay, this is now 80-90% complete, somebody else will be able to do, we'll use Michael's expertise somewhere else. But Michael held on, this is my project, I will not let go. Now that led to a lot of heartburn and something, because the management felt he was capable of doing a lot of other better things, but he would not leave his project, he would hold on to it. So I think what is important is we need to remain grounded, and we need to remember that there is a management who thinks, and we need to accept if they tell us that something needs to be done. We should let them do. We should never ever start becoming too arrogant or too controlling or too authoritative, even if it is a small project. There are your management knows best. They have a much wider perspective, and there are times when we need to. We cannot become too arrogant and start bossing over everybody. This is my project, my domain. Because we have to remain humble. There is a beautiful new concept. New means it's about 15, 20 years old. This concept of servant leadership, where we need to understand that as a leader, the leader is there to serve. So leader should always be there to serve his team and his organization. He's not there. He's not entitled or this thing. Whatever perks and privileges are given, he should not start becoming too entitled or used to it. My job as a leader is to serve my team, to help them perform. My team is what performs. I am only here to facilitate their performance. That is something we should always keep. Leadership lesson 8 is about, at the end of the day, what is important is how good the tea is, not the tea bag. So we should always remember our job is to build a good team, a strong team which learns to perform on their own, and the results start coming automatically. We should never be about, it's never about me, it's never about this thing. So my success is measured by the success of my team, not by what I show and flaunt. So if my team is successful, I'm automatically considered a success. If I can empower, even if I am the most useless or the stupidest person, if I can get a team to work and deliver results, I am considered as a good leader, as a good manager, and I will get promoted. So that is something we need to understand. So empower your team and give them the recognition, give them the encouragement, give them the guidance, and lead them into better performance. Now, this is something, the last lesson that David had to teach Michael, because Michael had got a little possessive about his department and his team and his this thing, and David explained to Michael that every tea bag at the end of the roll, when the job of infusing the water with the tea flavor is done, the tea bag has to be out of the cup. So similarly, every project, every task assignment that a leader gets, there is an initial setup phase where you need to be really involved very intensively with your team, help them, guide them. And then once the project is getting, it is on its way and is working properly and smoothly, it is progressing smoothly, is when you start nurturing the project and start taking care of the team and making sure that they keep doing their work. And once the project is over and the results are out and everything is done, I think the leader should be willing to step back. He should understand that his role for this project is done and he should be looking for other projects. If he keeps holding on to past glory and holding on to the project that he, because it is his baby, this is my baby, I will take care of it, I will not leave it, is a sign of insecurity. There are people who are insecure about giving up because they feel, okay, if a management gives them some other project, they start becoming insecure and saying that, why did I get transferred? Why did they give me this? I have been working on this project for a year. I did so well. The results were so good. Why did they shift me? But they shifted because the project is over, where the management saw your strength and your abilities to contribute. They see that, okay, now you can be better used in some other role, so they put you in some other task. So always when you are transferred or given some other assignment, be happy and willing to go and take it very positively that your contribution to that project is over, now you are given some other project. So be happy when this happens, don't get insecure, and be ready to understand when it is time to step aside. So nobody is indispensable. We all know that even a small baby who's born and during childbirth the mother dies, the child survives. There are people who will help nurture. So nobody is indispensable in this world, and I think that's the lesson that from the tea bag, the final lesson that we need to learn is when the road job is over, we need to come out and step out. So to recap, these are the 9 lessons. What matters is the content, what is inside of you, your qualities, your performance, your results, your capabilities. It is how, what your position, your title doesn't matter, what results you're giving, output you're giving is important. The real flavor, the real ability of a leader is on display under stressful conditions when they take on the pressure, take on additional tasks. So be always willing to take on that extra pressure, because that is where you really shine and come out. Be open to feedback, suggestions, never be a closed person. Don't build walls around yourself, always be talking to people, because that's when you get your feedback. uh, Tea bags work. You should be willing to work in whatever position you are in. Don't look at yourself. Just because you are at a lower position doesn't mean you are not a leader. And just because you are in a higher position doesn't mean you are the boss. Everyone is a leader, and we need to respect that leadership and respect each person. And take help from other people within, from the team, and from this, the ability to delegate is a very important feature of leadership, and we need to be willing to take help and assign tasks to our team. And sometimes we need to collaborate. Sometimes the project or the task is beyond our means, beyond our knowledge, and rather than having something that will sink the organization or sink the project or give a substandard quality, we need to bring in the expert. So be honest with yourself whenever the task at hand is something beyond your expertise. Say that, okay, I am good at this, but this part of it is where I will need some help, I will need some inputs, because that is outside my domain of expertise. Remember that somebody else is always there, and you need to allow that person to control. So you need to give feedback. We are not the owner, so we should never behave like the owner of the project or owner of this. The project was assigned to us by our manager or our company, a CEO or whatever, and we need to be willing to take their feedback on. and at the end of the day, it is a team that matters, not us. So leadership, we need to be able to take a step back, to remain in the shadows. When awards are to be given, recognitions are to be given, always push your team in the front, whoever is deserving. Let them feel encouraged, let them feel motivated, rather than taking the credit yourself. And at the end of the day, be ready to step out of the way and get out when there is time. All right, so I'm done for today. Any questions? Any feedback? You can unmute yourself.
Jaldeep, I'll say something to you.
Of course, ma'am. Sure.
I think you and I have worked with corporates, so we know how the egos are. And even in the lab, one has to recognize ego. This is what is to be pushed. I think some of them are juniors, some of them are just starting off a few years. Recognize, somebody there? Recognize that there is somebody above you, somebody below you, and you usually take the team along. I have a habit of sitting back and watching at times. I do not, I'm 6.5 feet tall, etc., etc. I don't boss, but I know how people work. And I think what we have is a young team here, Jaldeep. If they learn body language, which you tackled last time,
Yeah.
they know when to open their mouths and when to keep shut, and how to work to prove to the others that you can do the work. I know you and I've been through corporates. We know what people are like, and sometimes it's best to walk off.
Ego is a sign of insecurity. So we need to, what I have as a thumb rule is, when I see ego, I see insecurity in the person, and instead of going defensive and starting to argue with that person, what I do is, which is a natural instinct of most people, they start, he showing his ego, I'll show my ego. Just we show them kindness. Just recognize their ego is fear. Be kind to them, give them recognition, appreciate them, admire their abilities, and they calm down, and they will then become more supportive of you. That's how it works. Very true. Yes, very true.
Rohina, you give lectures on this. What do you say? You met people in the field. And on the other side, we've got Nazneen, who works with a group of people. You must be having some experience. Rohina? Nazneen, you want to say something? You have some of your friends with you there.
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, sir. Sir, I just want to say that if you want your team to succeed, there are two things you need to do when you enter into a new team or you are with an old team. One is empower them and delegate. They should know what they have to do, but give them the correct power, but the correct limit. And also, when you want your team to succeed, you should not only tell them what to do and how to do, but give them your points also how you did it. Only then they will succeed at that point. Some of the leaders, they don't, they make that mistake that they do everything, they talk good, they give support, they do everything, but there are still times when teams can fail. And the main reason is that how the leader does it, the same thing should move down the team, the information. So this is where most of the teams fail. The large capacity teams, if we are managing 50 to 80 people, we should have hierarchy, and the same information should be going down the team line. So that is where leadership comes into play.
Very true. Very true.
That is the main thing.
Very true, Nani. Communication, percolation is pretty important. Down the line, a lot of people do this. I agree.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for bringing that up.
That's
Thank you for bringing that up.
thank you, sir.
Dr. Chogle, you want to say something? You've been in a big
Who's your
hospital environment. Dr. Chogle.
A very nice lecture indeed, Mr. Bhansali. I would like to say that two, three proverbs come into picture. One is pride is a fall, as Michael had it, and uh, David was great because he was humble. So never have a pride that you are holding or you are managing a team. You should always understand that you are the center. Somebody is above you who is uplifting you and giving you the work.
Asking number for Ramesh.
Huh?
There are
He's
some
asking for
people
number
think
for
you
Ramesh as
under
well.
your
We'll
guidance.
send it to you.
If
Maybe
you
they are
give
belonging
them
to.
proper feedback that how the work is going on, and if we would encourage them, then only they will bring the best out of them. If you keep on empowering them, or if you keep on having your own egos, if you keep on disturbing them, they will never bring the best out of them.
Correct.
Second thing is united we stand, divided we fall. If you bring all your team people together, talk to them politely, make them understand, try to sort out if they have any difficulties, try to sort them out. So you will remain united. And if you are just considering yourself to be great, holding on to the project and doing overwork and trying to establish your own identity, everybody would fall down. Why did we fall? The entire team would go with us. Third thing is that the same thing is, like I would say, as we come to this world, we don't bring anything with us. And when we leave also, we are not going to take away anything with us. So that should be the attitude. And I feel that I respect even the shadows now in my building, because we can imagine how things were when the COVID pandemic was there.
True.
He is also the best person because if he doesn't clean your dustbin or your Gandagi one day, everything would go on piling up, especially what happened during the municipality strike, and you would ultimately fall sick. So I also appreciate, see, the place where I invest my funds, I'm also doing very clean with them. And my sister was operated in the month of Jan. I spent 5.5 lakhs of rupees, but not a single paisa had come. But this team, they are investing in some particular place. The team is so beautiful that even the minor person worked hard, kept on taking turns to the New India Assurance Company, and he saw that he gives me the at least at least 75% of the funds, because he's first of all his leader was great, his boss is great, who passed over the message, then his subordinates, and even to the lowest of the person who kept on, despite of his fractured leg, he kept on taking terms to the New India Assurance. She also has a top-up plan with the Star Health. So he went to them also, sent everything, all the papers, and they saw that we could get at least 75% of the spent money. So the leadership is a must.
True.
You should always understand that you are in the middle, not on the top, not beneath. I'm not boasting myself, but the Bishkendi staff is saying that when you were there, things were working like a family.
Hmm.
From the time you left, everybody has to obey their rules. सुबह में आने का, बैग रखने का, काम चालू करने का, and शाम को घर निकल जाने का.
Correct.
So not boasting, but they appreciate even the patients who are patients. You know, multiple myeloma patients used to come in wheelchair to meet me. So I'm not boasting. So you have to be humble, you have to be understanding, and you have to give a big pat to the working team. Big pat on
It's
their back.
it's very important to balance between relationship management and professional work management, because if you get too much into relationship, the work suffers. Sometimes the staff is unable to manage, and if you get too professional, the relationship. So it has to be a balance between the two.
It's like a riding bicycle. It's like riding a bicycle where both the wheels have to keep on turning. You have to finally, you have to applaud the working people, you have to pat your team, and at the same time, you should not be a wonderful. You have to give some name book at the end.
Yes, I will give that. Just give me a minute. I think there is somebody has raised their hand. Is that Nazneen who has raised her hand? Rakesh.
Yes, sir, yes, sir. This is I am noting to Rakesh. What one more thing is that when we want to our team to succeed also, as leaders, we should not have a lot of levels of approvals. We get stuck up with approval levels from the managements, 2 levels, 3 levels is okay, but you have interim levels, internal levels should all be cut down because you have to work fast. You have to do your team to get your team to succeed. So these kind of external things also affect the team management, team proficiency. So our levels of approvals should also be controlled.
There should be
That's one thing also we are missing.
what you are saying is empowerment at each level. At each level. In fact, one thing I would like to you that this is not an entire leadership. Leadership. This is only about feedback. You have to somebody has to giving to the other. My voice is coming back.
Nazneen, do you have to? Rahesh is one and yours is the other one, is it?
Yeah. I think the microphone
But
is not
Nazneen one is mute. Rahesh is the one she's speaking from.
One minute, one minute. One minute.
Yeah.
I will log out.
No. Just mute. Just mute. Don't log out. I think rules even you. Okay, done. Okay, so now the echo is gone. So, what is important is remember this is not a comprehensive. There is a lot of other things about leadership. Lot of other things. This is an analogy to a tea bag that I have taken. I love this book. It's a small little book. So that is something that I wanted to share with you. And these are like some of the most important lessons which can be missed. But then this is not a leadership is a lot more, as been pointed out. You know, the having delegations, having empowerment at each level, being able to take decisions. So whatever. So important thing about leadership is that at each level, commensurate to the responsibility that you are giving to a person, the decision making and empowerment should be at a similar level. So if there can be no responsibility without empowerment. So that is something that is very important that we need to understand, because I see a lot of managers, a lot of making this mistake. They give a lot of assignments, they give a lot of responsibility. You have to do this, you have to do that, but they don't have the responsibility or the empowerment. They have to keep coming back for every decision. They have to come back to the boss. Then there is no
This one.
empowerment actually. The person cannot perform if you have given assignments without giving the okay, take this decision, this much decision you can take on your own. Don't come back to. Another good way decisions, one is to throw it back to them. They come to you with a problem because they are afraid of taking a decision. They'll come to you with a problem. Sir, this is a problem. What can I do? What do you think I should do? I do that? I said, what are the different options? So they will give me two or three options. Keep quiet. Don't start giving answers. Even if you know the answer, don't start giving answers. Ask a question. Wait for the answers. Once they give two or three options, ask them which is the best option out of this. What do you think is the best option? So, sometimes my team members used to get frustrated. Sir, आपके पास आके तो फायदा ही नहीं है. You don't take any decisions. You throw it back at us. But as a leader, I am teaching them how to take decisions and I am empowering them. So that's something you need to understand. You have to pretend to be, not knowing anything. As the lingo in Mumbai, in slang, we say, yeda ban ke peda khane ka. You appear to be a fool, but empower and teach your team members into doing things. Let them underestimate you. It's okay. You are the boss. You know that you are the manager. You are the leader. Let your team underestimate you. It is good if they underestimate you because then they don't keep coming back to you. They'll start taking decisions on their own. That is something that you have to learn how to do that. Now coming back, let me give you the name of the book that I wanted to. Uh,
US boss.
this is the name of the book. I don't know if you can see. Can you? It is 9 leadership lessons from a tea bag. The author is Gyan S. Narayan. It's an Indian author. It's a lovely little book. Somehow on Amazon, the price seems to be incredibly high for that book. The content is not really worth the price. It's 1,200, 1,500 rupees. It is available on Kindle for, I think, 300-400. So if you have a Kindle account, you can purchase the Kindle part of it. But otherwise, the parable is just this. It's a form of a story. This is it. So I wouldn't,
History के
unless you are really keen to learn more about leadership, I don't think you need to buy this book. I don't see too much value in buying this book. It's a story. What I told you is the story. That's it. If you have a Kindle account, you can buy. Otherwise, hard copy, unless you get a pirated copy somewhere, 100-200 rupees, it is fine. You don't spend more than 300-400 on this book. Yeah. So that is the name of the book. 9 leadership lessons from T-Bag by Gyan S. Narayan. I found it very simple. It's a little simplistic, but it's also very simple, and I think it makes you the analogy to the tea bag is something that whenever I see a tea bag, after reading this, whenever I see a tea bag, it reminds me of the lessons and the qualities of a leader. So it's a good memory jog. It's a good reality check. Am I still continuing being a good leader, or am I making some mistakes? Yes, Nazmi, go ahead. You're muted. Can't hear you.
Yeah. So one more thing is that whenever you are making a team, or you are entering a new team, or you have a own team, the best way is to give tasks and to recognize the people's capabilities first. So give them what they like to do. Some people like to do documentation. Some people like to do instrumentation. Some people like to do both. Some people only like to monitor, give those monitoring activities like daily temperature maintenance, IQC monitoring and all. So if you are a good leader, you should be first within first 5-10 days. You should catch who is good at what, and then you give them the task, and then you will succeed. Don't give somebody who does not want to do documentation, don't give it to them. Give somebody who is good at machine, give the machine to them. If somebody is good at monitoring and observations and all, give them the daily rounds. If somebody is good at follow-up, give them the backup jobs. So like that, the activities can be monitored. That is also one way of
I
doing it.
I agree with you on this, Nazmi, but I also have a slightly different perspective on this. You'll have to mute now. Like, so the other perspective is, if for as a leader, it is your responsibility also to develop people's skills. So if they are good at something and they are in a comfortable doing one thing, if you allow them to do only that thing, they might get into a comfort zone, but you are not really developing them as a person, and their future growth could get affected. So as a leader, the other perspective to this is, sometimes you might need to accept substandard quality of work, uh, because if you are asking them to do something which they are not interested or they are not good at, but it is important for their future career, it is okay to initially, get two people to do it or get them to do it, but also keep a backup and keep guiding them, helping them, supporting them until they get. Sometimes, they are not comfortable doing something because they think they can't do it. But once they start doing it, they realize that, oh wow, man, I am able to do that, and they feel very empowered, and then they start becoming good at it. So, uh, the easy way out is to, okay, that person is good in something, or that person is interested in something, I'll give only that. But as a leader, it is your responsibility to develop their all-round skills. So that is also, I'm not saying go out of the way and teach them something that they will never be required to do it, but for their role in their, you have to see their future career, and accordingly you have to develop the skills in that person by giving them assignments, even if they don't like it. And sometimes you might have to tell them that, I think being in your comfort zone is not really going to help, because this is something that you will be required to do in your role if you are a lab technician or whatever. As you grow, you will have to know this. You can't be only taking monitoring this thing. So I think you should do this also. So sometimes a rotation of tasks also helps. So that's another perspective you need to keep in mind about.
Can I interrupt?
Sure, of course.
In the lab, you have to multitask. You can't. I agree with what you said, that people have skills in a particular area, but if you are in a managerial position in the lab, you give the devil the due what they want, but they cannot say, I'm going to sit on this machine, I'm not going to take a look at any other machine, or I'm only going to do differentials, I'm not going to do WBC count. So, but you as a leader have to multitask. You can't say I won't do it. I'll tell you, I've reached a stage in my lab where I usually sit on my microscopic chair with the microscope in front of me, but people ask me, and my girls will tell you, my eyes and my ears are very sharp. I ask them what they're doing and they tell me. Or if they run into a problem, I know they've run into a problem and they are a little different to tell me. So we tell them that do it again. Now Munira is another senior person sitting next to me. So she knows how we function. Ours is a small lab, it's a good lab, we do a lot of work. But Nazdin, you will have to learn to do a little bit of multitasking. I understand what you said is correct. But, like Jaldeep said, you have to be a little sympathetic with people. And you have to be firm with certain people. नहीं ये करना है तो करो, it's good for you, for your future.
sometimes you have to encourage them, push them, motivate them. So, they say, by hook or by crook, you have to get them to do something. So, uh,
Yeah,
it's
so what we do is after some time we introduce KRA. So the person with the least KRAs, they are graded as per KRAs. So automatically the interest will develop. Once the KRAs comes, the increment of thing comes in, automatically the liking comes in. The factor, the psychology of the workplace, of your environment and all will be affected through your development also, right? Personal development also. So once
absolutely.
you know that you are set, that your team is set and you got what
Huh?
you
Sir is
got,
asking
you
from
introduce
Aisha also
KRAs and let them
certificate she
work
is
as per your
attending from.
KRAs.
So
That's
sir,
what
From
management is.
certificate should
Na?
be given to
Once
Aisha
the monthly
also
part
or
comes in, then
But
everybody
was
will
she on?
start liking
Was she?
everything.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, of course.
Automatically they will come up, no problem. We don't have to do anything. Just put your KRAs and KPIs in place.
No,
Automatically things will come.
if you taking care of that, it is fine. That's what I said. As a leader, you have a responsibility to develop them. So if you initially you can allow them to be in their comfort zone and do that and do something which they are good at, but eventually you have to get them to start doing other tasks also. So yeah, by however whatever means you do that. So as long as you do it through KRAs or through inducements, higher performance link packages.
Competency is also there, na?
Yeah,
Competency is also one big challenge. So the more competent you are, more departments you can handle or rotate, then the more secure you are.
yeah,
Like that, we are managing them.
Let's
fantastic. If you are doing that, that's what. So you need to be aware of that. That's the only thing I said. As a
Ah, yes,
leader,
yes, correct.
great.
can
Great.
guys can
Anyone
we
else has any questions, any feedback, any points to share, any observations, any